Hi, it's Maria Quattrone with Remix at Home and Be the Solution. Today, I'm so excited to have our guest, Joe Bograd, a fellow Remax associate colleague. Joe is a phenomenal broker on the Philadelphia and Bucks County region, and I'm really excited to talk to him today about what he and his team are doing and the whole real estate industry as a whole, and what we can do to help our consumers and our clients during this crisis that we're in. So welcome, Joe.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. It's a crazy time we're living in right now, but thanks to individuals like you, you're thinking outside the box and trying to educate individuals and consumers and fellow realtors on what we can do to make the situation a little bit easier to deal with. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure. Yeah, well, the whole premise is like, how can we help colleagues, associates, our vendors that we work with, other businesses, small businesses, especially the ones in real estate, because that's our industry, get the word out about what they're doing, living in this virtual world. I feel like this is almost like a normal way now.
Well, I think this is going to be the norm for a while, and I think, like I was saying, what you're doing and what I'm trying to do is going to be the future. I mean, I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to put a house under agreement virtually. But when this whole thing was beginning, I had a client that was anti going in, and I had a seller that was not living in here. So we did a virtual tour, and we ended up selling the house virtually, which to me was like incredible. They did the inspection. The inspector came out, saw the inspection report. So literally, he did not step foot in this house still as of yet. Hopefully, when everything is lifted in the next few weeks, God willing, he'll actually see the house for the first time. But because inventory is so scarce, he didn't want to take a chance of losing it. He loved the pictures. The pool is there. He saw everything. The inspector calmed him, told him that everything was in good shape. So he's moving forward. But this may be the way that we do things down the road. So, buckle up.
So was that buyer moving here from another area, or did he already have his house sold, or?
No, he's actually a realtor, the buyer. So that kind of made things a little bit simpler. He was looking for himself. He's like a part-time agent. So he knew the industry. He knew what was the way things are handled. So it kind of worked out for everybody. But it was like the first, virtual tour, virtual sale that I've ever had. And it was pretty mind blowing to see the whole process happen, over an iPhone. But again, that's the way things may be happening for, the next 3 months, 6 months. I don't know. But I'm hoping that, with, this ban that's in place for us right now, it'll be lifted shortly so we can at least, conduct some sort of business, because I believe we are essential. I have clients that are living in a hotel, like I was telling you before we went live. It's terrible. I mean, we have people that need to make a move. They either are downsizing, upsizing, personal reasons. They need to buy and sell, and to be left out and allowing casinos to open up in Vegas, that's essential. But, having us conduct business every day and helping our clients out, not being essential, is to me crazy.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I mean, I posted something in the PARS site this morning. Somebody was saying something how, we should, well, we're not essential and people are crazy if they want to go back to work. I'm like, it's not about that. It's about the consumer. The consumer has a right to shelter, right? They have a right to, why should somebody have to live in a hotel? I mean, that's insane,
100%.
right? And he's in a hotel because he's got to find the right spot. He doesn't probably want to move twice.
Right. And if they're going out to the supermarket to buy groceries or milk or whatever the case is, and they're in a mask and they're in gloves and they have all the sanitary equipment with them, and they go out there and do their thing, same thing going to look at a house. If we show a house to a client and we open the door, they go in, they look at the property, they're, you're wearing gloves, they're wearing a mask, they're being very, vigilant about the way they're supposed to do things. It's their decision. It should be their decision and our decision. As long as we do things the way we're supposed to do it, and they're doing things the way they want to do it, and the seller obviously agrees upon it, because some sellers won't allow it because they don't want, whatever coming into their house. If everybody's on the same page, there should be no reason not to do it. But, you have to, Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, well, how about the other 47 states in the
Yeah,
United States of
that are
America
still really good. Right.
that real estate is essential?
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
that's one of the biggest things. Like, it's not our neighboring state, New Jersey, which I can be there in 5 minutes. I can actually ride my bike there in 10 minutes over the bridge from my house.
Right. Right.
And so you could be there in 5 minutes and you could practice real estate and you could put people in homes, but you can't do it in Pennsylvania.
Right.
I mean,
And
and they have more cases. So it's really has me a little fired up. And I was sharing with you earlier. I said, my family house is being sold and closing on Wednesday.
right.
My father doesn't have a spot to live. Luckily, we just bought a little crappy vacant property that we
Right.
can put him in there temporarily, but that's not ideal, even in the least bit, for him to be in that spot, right? Like, so we can't show him apartments because we can't go into an apartment building. Like, people can't move into apartment buildings in the city. It's insane.
It is insane. It's like a ghost town, and it's unfortunate because we are kind of like in limbo. Up until a few weeks ago, everybody was kind of just not knowing what's going on. Are we let to sell? Are we not to let to sell? We let to show, but I know we're not supposed to, and I know construction is supposed to begin again in the next few days, and people are slowly opening the doors based on the restrictions being lifted by the governor. But we're in a position in a time that things are going to have to move forward in some capacity. As long as we're smart about it and we do what's expected of us, and we keep to the remedy, we should be okay to do what we're supposed to do. Obviously everything's flattening out, God willing, and it continues this way. And hopefully, things start moving in the upward direction in regards to getting back out there. But it's unfortunate because people are, no idea what to do with themselves right now. So I'm really, really hoping that the governor decides to lift this ban in the next upcoming weeks and let us get back to business in some capacity.
How's your team handling everything?
Oh, they're upset as we are that we can't get out there and do our business because they're hungry. They're salespeople. They want to be out and about selling properties and showing properties and doing the business. And there's only so much you can do virtually. I mean, yeah, virtually is great to kind of deal with the situation, but sometimes people want to actually touch it and feel the house. And it's hard to explain to somebody how great a house is without them actually physically walking in there. So their hands are tied. Anthony, who's on our team, he's also a developer, so he was not able to do building or constructing, and he has a few projects under the works and a couple projects that just were, erected, and he couldn't start marketing them properly because he can't conduct business. Loretta is just, she's out of her mind upset because, she's one of those people that can't be home. She's always out and about, hustling, selling. Same with Alina, same with Deneen. Everybody's kind of like, not understanding the whole scope of things because they are accustomed to being out and about because that's where they make money. They don't make money sitting behind a desk. Realtors don't make money sitting like we are right now. They make money by making, relationships, talking, socializing, being out and about, not by sitting in front of a computer and having these Zoom calls, because these Zoom calls are great for morale and kind of keeping the public and clientele up to date on what's going on. But ultimately, you need to be face to face to conduct our business, I think.
Are you doing Zoom listing appointments?
We did a couple Zoom listing appointments. We did a couple Zoom FaceTime appointments. We do our weekly Zoom meeting, which is comical because there's only so much you can discuss. Eventually, we talk about the same thing over and over again just to think about how we can conduct business. But yeah, I've gotten a few listings. I got a listing yesterday via Zoom. I got a listing on Thursday via FaceTime. And my one client, he gave me another listing. So I'm doing business. It's surprising to me we're still doing business because of the current situation, but we definitely are losing quite a bit of business because, I feel our hands are tied because we can't be out there. Some clients don't want people in. I have a few listings that were supposed to go live the first week of April that are holding off until May because they want to see what happens because they don't want people in their house. They have kids. They're older. They don't want people coming in, bringing germs. They don't know what's going on. So everybody's up in limbo. So it's a really bizarre time to be in this world, and it's a bizarre time to be in a service industry as we are.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is, no doubt, very
Yeah.
challenging.
What
The
are
only,
you seeing in the city? Like, I mean, is it like a ghost town? Is it like,
well, I don't leave the house.
right?
I, I've left twice since March 20th, and I was in the car both times.
Okay.
Um, for a ride. We went for a ride.
Yeah, that's my
Driving.
parents. They go for rides because they can't sit home anymore. My dad's my mentor. He brought me to the business 20 some years ago. He's been in the business 40 years, and he's one same kind of situation as everybody else. They don't know what to do, so their date night is going out for drives during the day because that's all they can do. It's unfortunate, but I hear from clients that the city is like a ghost town. I mean, I haven't been down there, so I don't know what's going on, but I heard it's just like, you know, nobody's down there except for the pizza places and different restaurants that are doing curbside. It's pretty much, you know,
Yeah,
ghosted.
Park in Rittenhouse Square is doing curbside, and we drove by there on Saturday. We were gonna pick up a couple things, but there was a pretty long line, and we had to be somewhere else at a certain time. Actually, we did pick up some fresh pasta from Fiorella's. They're doing
Cool.
takeout, so Mark Vetri's pasta spot. Literally, we ordered it, and it said, I think I placed the order at 11:20 or something like that. It said pick up order at 12:38 exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to pick it up at that time. So
Right. Just
we
an
went,
hour wait.
we went there, and we just sat. We were there a few minutes early. We just sat there and waited, and then my husband got out, and the girl came outside, and he told her the number. She walked back in, got the bag, and handed him the bag. So that's our big curbside picking up of food. We did order some food from the Union League because we're members there on for Friday.
Oh,
They have
cool.
a special going on for Friday nights. Anyway, it's been there were people out on Saturday, wearing masks, riding the bikes because it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's just, it definitely is a strange time. Have you started like done anything new since this happened? Like new things you put into place or that
I
you're
mean,
doing?
we're doing obviously a lot more of these. I mean, I'm having clients do virtual tours. Like I was telling you before, John Sherman, who is our videographer for our team, he basically is teaching my clients, and he had a video that I can share with you after we get off. And Video City Productions is the name of his company. He's teaching my clients how to take the proper video footage of their home. So if I did not have the ability to get a virtual listing or a virtual tour done for that listing before it went live, or if I got the listing yesterday, we need to get a virtual tour and my client wants to see it, then I can say, listen, I told my seller, Mr. Smith, can you please do a few shots of every room, go up 5 seconds, down 5 seconds, left to right, go to each corner and get that footage that I can share with my clients. And maybe, that's another option we can do while we're, quarantining and not being able to go into people's houses. So, you have to really kind of think outside the box. I love that fact what you're doing, and that's what we've been doing. A lot of these just like meetings, bringing in, I have Andrew Expat, our mortgage guy, doing our Boom Zoom video earlier this week to discuss, how the mortgage market is handling everything. If you're unemployed right now with what's going on, consider how are you getting a mortgage? How is financing happening? What are the rates like? How the purchase market's going, what the restrictions are, what the guidelines are. So, we're doing that as well to educate the consumers, because that's what we need to do. Because they want to know what they can do and what they can't do. Like as a realtor, can you show them a house? No. Can you refinance? Yes. There's a lot of steps and a lot of things that are happening right now that, they need to know how to conduct business. And that's the situation we're facing. We need to educate our clients and our customers.
Have you seen anything transactions fall through because of this?
Yeah, I actually had a deal fall through right before I had a deal supposed to settle on April 22nd. I'm sorry. Yeah, April 22nd. And about a week and a half before, they're from New York. She lost her job and they had to pull out of the deal. And we tried every which way to kind of, salvage it. And the deal fell through. On the same time, so the house is back in the market now, and we're not getting any showings, so they're gonna have to wait until things, reopen to show the house again. But it sold really quick initially, and now the seller already bought a house in Jersey. They already moved in, so now they have two mortgages. So now they're going to be in a tough situation.
Financial problem.
That's it. And then but on the upswing, I have another client that was buying a house. The same thing happened. He was considered unemployed because his restaurants are closed in the city, but because of his relationship with the bank, they actually pushed it through. They gave him an exception, so the deal did go through.
Mm.
So I mean, there's a lot of different scenarios that I'm seeing. Right now we're considered unemployed. So if we wanted to refinance our house or buy a house, we technically couldn't because we're not employed. So, the fact that they're decreasing interest rates and right now is a great time to buy a house, some of us that are considered unemployed can't do it. So that's why we really need to get out there in some capacity. So we're at least, out there doing something, working smartly, being, not wearing the mask, wearing the gloves, but at least doing something so we can, feed our families. Because I'm not getting any assistance from the state or from the government. We need to move in some capacity. I understand we have to be safe about it and we have to be smart about it, but we need to conduct business because I got mouths to feed. I got a mortgage to pay.
Sure.
I'm not, as you do. I mean, we need to, we need to kind of get through this, step by step, baby steps, but at least get out there.
Did you work from home before this, or did you go to your office every day?
Never. I never liked being in the office, period. I I used to leave the house at I had a whole regimen. I get up in the morning, go to the gym. I was at the house at 7:30, and I was out, coffee, driving, this, that, and the other clients. I would only come to the office just to kind of, brief my assistant, and that was only had an assistant like 2 years ago. Up until then, I would just come in, do some paperwork, and be out. I'm not that kind of person that conducts business, behind a desk. It's hard for me because I feel like restricted. Where if you're out,
it must be really tough for you right now.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm dealing with it. I mean, to me, this is like a little vacation as well. I'm with my kids are home all day. My wife's home all day. We have breakfast together, which is great. I go downstairs, I work out, I come up. The kids are up there having breakfast. I come up. We sit, we chat for a little while. Then they go to school in our kitchen, and I go to my office and I turn on the TV and I'm watching MSNBC or whatever, and I'm making calls. And that's another thing that I've been doing. I've been calling. And I'm sure you're doing the same thing. I'm calling my clients and just reassuring them on what's happening, just calling them saying, hey, how are you? How are things going? And, I think they appreciate that a lot, just to kind of, that you don't forget about them, that you're like, we're off for the next month. So just sit tight. But I think communicating, letting them know what's happening makes them feel more at ease. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what I can do by sitting in these four walls, because there's only so much you can do, but you need to continue to grow and think about how you can better your business, because eventually this will come to an end, and you can't take your foot off the gas, because when this opens up and we go back to business in a month from now or 2 weeks from now or whatever, things have to go back to place. We're in America, the best place on earth. We have to get back to business and work and continue to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It went from I had a little graph done of the eyeballs on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and it went from 21% on social media in January, up a little in February. March was like at 52. April, 78% of people have their eyeballs on social media.
Oh yes, I believe it. What are they doing?
So,
They're not doing anything else. They're working and they're watching what's going on Instagram and on TikTok and on Facebook, and watching these different memes that are people are posting about what's happening. It's it gets a little bit redundant, but that's the reality. You need to kind of stay relevant and educate people, and through social media and different outlets.
yeah. Do you do videos?
We do some videos. We started doing more videos since the current situation. I was doing a lot of still shots of listings, but now look, we're doing a lot more stuff with YouTube, and stories on Instagram and Facebook. Again, because it's great to show pictures on these different social media sites, but I think videos get your point across a little bit better.
What about for you, Joe? Joe on the video.
Me personally, I'm on the video.
Yeah, like talking. Hi.
Oh yeah, just to yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, we do all the time. I mean, I do a lot of video texting as well with clients and
Oh,
friends.
good.
You know,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, because it's more personal to it. My friend Lance, he always does that with me as well. Um, you know,
Oh, right. Your
it's
SEO, Lance
yeah,
from,
Lance,
yeah, right?
SEO, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So you know, he's a close friend of mine, and you know, when we talk, sometimes it's via text, even if it's a couple sentences, it's usually video text, which is fun. But it's different. It's I don't know, like nowadays, I think video is so important because, you know, texting and the usual social media nonsense that everybody else does, it's great. But I think, you know, people want to be, you know, glued to you. And if you want them to get, you know, you want to get their attention, you need to bring something to the table. And I think, again, like what you're doing here, it's great because, you know, people hear what you're saying, see what you're doing instead of just seeing a shot and that's it. You know, they actually see some interaction and how people have, and how us realtors were actual people, how we're dealing with the situation.
Yeah, I think it shows people your personality too, right? So,
Yeah.
and providing educational information, letting them get to know you. You're letting people know you're there. I mean, yeah, we've been so calling the people is great too, right?
Yeah.
So you're just calling just to see how everybody's doing, which really isn't that what it's all about anyway? You
Yeah.
know,
You know what? I think, you know, communication is great. When you communicate with your client, I think it speaks volumes. You know, it's one thing you get a listing, you put in the market, and then they don't hear from you for a couple of weeks. But you know, I like to. Most of my clients are friends, or they become friends, or they were friends before. I try to, you know, I like people. So you know, when I list a house and or I sell a person a house, I continue to stay in their life, not because I have to, because I want to. I'm a kind of people person. I'm sure you are too, and I think it takes a special breed to be a realtor, to be a good realtor. And I'm sure, you know, you need to constantly, you know, be like a shoulder to cry on, you know, explain to them what's going on in the world. And especially with these current situations and conditions, you need to make sure they understand that this is not the end of the road. Things will get better. Just be positive and, you know, have faith. Everything will work out.
right? This too shall pass, isn't that what?
This too shall pass. That's right. That's right.
How long have you
Yeah.
been in the industry?
You know, I mean, I feel like I've been in the industry probably like 41 years because I'm 41. Uh, my dad has been in the real estate industry. He was big in Bucks. My dad came over from Russia, Ukraine rather, back in the mid to late 70s. So he got into selling real estate in the early 80s, and he was a top producer in Bucks for a long time. He still is, and he's still my kind of mentor with everything that I do in the business every day. But he kind of was like, why don't you get into the real estate industry back in, I think, 2000? And he taught me the ropes through the years on, you know, how to do things, what not to do, what to do. And thanks to him, you know, I was able to attain a certain level of success. But yeah, I feel like I've been doing it a long time, but
So
actively,
20
probably
years.
20
At
years.
least
Say it again?
20 years, 20 years licensed.
20 years, yes. Since right before September 11th, I got my license. Yeah, so just under 20 years. I was working for our title company, which just opened up around the same time. So I learned the title industry. I was doing mortgages before back in the late 90s. So I knew the mortgage industry, the title industry, and then the real estate industry. So that's where I kind of stayed all these years. But good time, and you know how it is. It's every deal is different. It's a lot of interaction with people. It's a lot of interaction with, you know, how to make this happen. It's almost like a puzzle to make things work, and everything kind of works. Sellers, buyers, you know, it's fun. I have a good time with it, and especially with this type of situation that we're in right now, it's almost like a next obstacle and how we can conduct business even through these hard times. But we'll do it. Well, you know, we have to. We have no choice.
We have no choice, right? And you have a strong mindset, which I think is really, you can tell, like when you speak with somebody with their conviction and confidence, if their mindset is strong, or
Oh,
we
absolutely.
all have bad days. I'm not talking about that, but
Yeah.
generally speaking, right? If you're coming from a standpoint of contribution, I believe that if you can help a lot more people, then that also helps you with your mindset because you're giving
100%.
back. And a lot of people need a hand up right now, and they're struggling emotionally, mentally, financially, some physically.
Oh yeah, I'm a very positive person. I feel like nothing should change with what how you've been doing these things before. I think if you were going to the gym at 6 a.m. a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, then you should be. If you were going to the office at 9 o'clock and that's what you were doing, you should do the same thing. Do it from your home. I'm very regimented. I went to military school for 5 years, so that kind of helped me with that regiment. But I feel that's what makes me tick. And if I have that regimented lifestyle, it makes my life simpler because I'm not having to deviate, and I just kind of deal with the situation, and whatever is thrown at me, I kind of deal with it, work with it.
That's funny you say that. I talk to the staff all the time. I said, we should have a uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get up, you look in the closet, you're like, okay, what am I gonna wear today? And it's another decision. Like my husband would call, what do you want for dinner tonight? Because he usually starts dinner because I'm always home later.
Right.
I say, don't even ask me anymore. It's another decision that I don't need to make. You know what we eat? Just make something and I'll be fine. It's just, so taking away decision making because you're in a regimented schedule and you don't have to think about, well, what should I do this morning? Maybe I should work out, or maybe I don't want to work. Like if you have it in your schedule, I follow the schedule. So if it's in the schedule, great. It happens.
I'm the same way.
If it's not in the schedule, the staff will say, that thing didn't happen. You didn't record that video. And I'm like, well, is it in the schedule?
I think schedules come in handy. You need that schedule. You need that, that repetition, that, it makes things so much. I mean, for me, at least, I need that because I'll veer off if I don't have that schedule. I mean, I'm getting up a little bit later than I used to because I'm home. So if I'm not at the gym at 6, I'm at the gym at 6:30, whatever the case is, or 7. But at least I'm doing it because between the calls, the clients, the kids, there's so much going on because you're in this house all the time. You want to explode sometimes, but you need to deal with things in a certain way or manner to make things easier.
Do you live in Bucks? Is that where you live?
I live in Bucks. Yeah, I live in Bucks. I live in Ivyland. So my kids.
Do you have a single family house?
Yeah, the single family house. I actually bought it 15 years ago. And my wife and I were just about to get engaged. And who would have thought 3 kids later, three kids, and 15 years later, the house is full, and it's full of love, and we're having great times here, and we're dealing with the situation, and the kids are making the best of it, and I give them a lot of credit because it's not easy for everyone to deal with, but like I said, like you said, this too shall pass. We'll deal with it.
Yeah. So do you want to stay in that house, or do you want a new house?
We always talk about it. Like there was times that I wanted to move to the city, and then when we first started dating, we were thinking of moving downtown for a couple of years and coming back to Bucks. But then we bought this house and we stayed here. I think my twins are 11 and my little one's 6. I think I'm here probably for at least another 8 to 10 years, and then I think we might make a move down to the city. And have a place in the city and maybe bebop around and travel more and stuff like that. But I like the burbs for raising our family. My parents are literally a mile away. My in-laws are a mile away. My wife's sisters are a mile away. My sister was in Fishtown with her family, but my whole world is pretty much here. So I think when my kids are older and they finish school, we'll probably jump down to the city because I like city living. I like to be out in restaurants, and I like to be out and about. And there's only so many restaurants and places to go around here. So the city is a different animal. So I'm excited to, finish our, life here in Bucks and then slowly make a transition to the city at some point.
Do you think that other people are going to want to sell their house after this? Either too big, too small, I'm sick of it.
You know what?
Out of the city, I want to move into the city. I want a compound. I want a smaller house.
I'm hearing a lot of different things. So again, I talked to my dad. My dad feels that people are going to want to move out of the city, and they're going to want to be out in the burbs where there's more space and there's more, because of this kind of stuff happens again. They want to be not so close to everybody else. But then I talked to another client that wants to be in the city because they feel like, listen, right now I'm stuck in my house. I can't go anywhere. I got to walk 3 miles to go to the Wawa. Where I'm in the city, I'm in a little smaller condo or townhouse. I go outside, I go down to the place, I get something takeout. I go here or there, I walk around, I go to the park. Everybody has a different spin on it. But I think the market actually it's gonna be stronger. There's not a lot, no, not a lot of new inventory hitting the market. So I think everything kind of goes out, and we start, working full time. A lot of new listings are going to hit the market. A lot of buyers have been waiting for things to hit the market are going to be, out there, and you're going to see a surge. That's what I feel. I feel there's a lot of buyers looking, going to get a lot of calls, a lot of emails. So we'll see.
I think so too. I think, we live in a townhouse in town, so
Hmm.
we have a garage, we have a roof deck. It's big enough for us, but honestly, I'm kind of sick of it. If I had a yard with a fire pit, an outdoor
Yeah.
kitchen, a pool that I could go in shortly, I'd be okay with staying home a little longer.
And
You
that's
spread out a bit.
exactly that's how we're living, so to speak. We have the pool, we have the outside, the kids go play, that we have a catch, and that's why I don't. And it's also warmer, so we're outside more. If this was happening, in the January, February months when it's like cold and nobody wants to be outside and it's dreary, I think we'd have a little bit of a different spin on how we're feeling right now. The fact that it's getting warmer, we can be outside, we get, roast marshmallows, it's a little bit of a different spin. But hopefully, this is going to be temporary, and somehow, some way, this will pass, and we'll be, this will be distant memory. Next chapter, we're living, we're enjoying life, because that's what it's all about.
I think it's going to make a lot of us better brokers.
Better brokers. I
The
think
one-
better brokers, 100%.
But also, I'd say better humans, right? Because
Correct. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, I think
right,
you want to make sure. Listen, life's short. Got to be good to people. Got to be kind. Got to help each other out. It's a funny place. It's a weird world we live in, but we're here together, and we're all dealing with the same thing right now. And we need to live together, love each other, and get through this chapter, move on to the next chapter, and have fun, live our lives, and enjoy this thing called life.
yeah, we couldn't have thought of a crazier thing to happen
No,
to stop the real estate market for
no, I never thought in a million years this would happen. This would ever pause us the way it is pausing us. I mean, even '08, where we knew that end was we hit rock bottom, and then we worked our way up. Here, it's like we don't know when it's hitting, or we don't. And I think we've pretty much hit that rock bottom area. But now I think things are starting to flourish, and I think people are eager to get out there, and they want to get out there, and people want to buy and sell. And there's opportunities out there, so this is the time to seize the moment.
They do. I wrote a little post. I do a market update every week on Philadelphia. So I wrote a little post, and I said, did you ever watch planes sitting on the runway? So if you were ever in the Rome airport and you had the fortunate fortunate time of waiting for your plane for 3 hours later, you could see that every 60 seconds a plane in Rome takes off. Every 60 seconds. Can you imagine how many are waiting in line?
Wow.
So I equate that with our industry, Joe. Yeah. And I think that we are in Rome, and the buyers are waiting in line for when they can take off, and they're the planes, and then the real estate market is going to take back off because we're still selling, right?
We are selling.
Strings, not showing, virtually, correct. Sight unseen, off of pictures. We do a lot of investment sales, so we're selling off of income, income producing property. We're getting offers in. We're fielding offers coming in, sending offers out. But so it can all happen, but there's nothing like some people, buyers will not adapt to that. They have to see it in person. So they're sitting there ready, waiting for this.
They're ready to go out.
And I think we're going to have you can let me know what you think about this, but I think we're going to have to do 6 months of work. 9 months of work in 6 months.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, and what I've been telling individuals and clients and friends and family, how's the market? And what I was saying before, I think the market is going to be fine. And I think things are going to pick up, and it's going to be like a surge come as soon as the doors are open. But I feel like the people that usually test the spring market to see what happens, like, oh, you know what? Tony, we're going to put the house in the market. Let's see what happens. Come June, May. We'll put the house in the market. If we get the number, then we'll make a move. We'll downsize. We'll buy something bigger. We'll test it. That's not happening. That's not going to happen this year. People that have to sell because they had a death in the family, they got married, they had more kids, they got divorced. Those individuals that have that circumstantial situation, they're the ones that are going to sell. The ones that sold their house, they have to find something, they're going to sell. But the ones that are going to test that market, it's not going to be. So there'll be some less sellers out there, but I think the buyers, there'll be a ton of buyers out there. And I think the fact that there's very little inventory, there'll be bidding wars. And I think the pricing is going to increase. It's not increase, it's definitely going to stay where it's at.
So we talked to a lot of buyers and we said, listen, if you're looking to buy something, I'll use this as an example. Say you want to be in the Graduate Hospital neighborhood in downtown, right?
Right.
You want to buy a house under 500,000 there. That's a 2-3 bedroom, 2 bath. Okay, right. Good luck. Meaning if that comes up, this is probably a good time to put an offer in.
Yeah,
there's less people. No, there won't be as many bidding wars if there are any. I mean, there are a couple that have happened, but if you really need to move and you're buying that size house, it's usually you're getting about 1,000 square feet. Maybe 1,100, 2-story home. Yeah. There's only so many that come on and off the market in the area, and it's a great time right now because you can't get. There's not a line out for the open house. Usually here this time, they're not having showings till open house.
Sure, exactly.
And then there were 20 people at the open house, and then 5 offers came in, and then oh, by the way, we have another open house on Sunday too. This is Saturday.
Yeah, they want to see what happens. Yeah.
Right. So that's not happening. That's not happening. So if you are a buyer and you're looking in an area that the inventory is tight and something comes up, now's a great time and an opportunity for you to pounce on that.
Because you're not bidding against anybody. You're not competing against anybody, so to speak. Yeah, again, Richboro, I'm just using, that's where we are. Right now, that 550 to 650 market, there's almost like 3 houses for sale. If I would list a house today in Richboro, I'd probably have over full price for multiple offers. I've gotten messages through Facebook, Instagram, text, email from my website. Joe, if you have anything with a pool in Richboro, 600,000, just send it to me. I'm ready to go. There's a need for it. There's a need for it. So I think right now there's people out there that are hungry. They need to make a move. They have nowhere to be. They want to take advantage of the market you just mentioned because there's less people selling. There's more people out there looking. So you have to, act while the iron's hot because this is an opportunity right now.
I think it is too. What's the inventory like in Bucks? Because I focus heavily on all Philadelphia County. I don't really, pay attention to Bucks.
Bucks has a lot of inventory right now, but again, if you price it accordingly and you're not overpricing anything, it's gone within days. Whether it's a townhouse single, I put a 17.7 acre parcel of land for sale that's potentially subdivided on social. I listed it on Thursday. I literally just, put a post out there. If anybody's interested, I had 2 realtors reach out to me. One reviewed the plans, and I'm not going to mention the name. He's probably watching this or he's going to see. He's promising to bring me an offer at full ask probably by tomorrow, Wednesday, when they review the numbers. So there's a definite, wave of interest into being, especially to have the ability to build, 5, 6, 7 houses in Newtown. It's huge. I mean, there's not enough land.
For 7, up to 7 houses.
The plan is for 10, but most likely it'll probably be 6 or 7 houses on 2.5, 3 acre lots. But that just as an example. There's people out there looking, and there's not enough out there. So if you're looking to sell, call Maria or call Joe.
Inventory super low. I've been watching it. I have a little book. I write notes. I'm like a big note taker over here. I'm in, Catholic school again. Anyway, I write every day. I take down, I don't know if you could see, I rate the inventory of each day, what's coming on, what's going off, the number of units. Because I'm tracking it to see when it starts to make an adjustment, right? And I could see the days where There's more or less. And last week, as many more homes went active under contract or pending than came active.
It tells you something, right?
So I don't believe that the real estate market's going to go in the toilet in Philly or in the surrounding areas. I think it's still going to be strong. There was already pent up demand. I don't know about your for like January, Joe. We had the biggest January. Actually, I think
January and February,
our biggest month.
Yeah.
That my company or our team has ever had. And I think in 6 years, I had to check the numbers, but if it's not, it's very, very close to being that.
Right.
And then, so you come off of like, yeah, it's going to be a great year. February was really good. And then here we are. Oh, did I lose Joe?
And then March hits.
And then March hits.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
No, and then March hits, and then all of a sudden you're like slapped in the face. You're like, what just happened? But again, this is luckily happening in a time where there's an upswing typically in the spring market. So I think we're going to be in good shape. And again, this is not. Again, I don't think this is going to affect us as much as it did in 08 because 08 it was a different time because it was induced by the whole real estate mortgage market. This is induced by something altogether different. And there's people looking to buy. Yeah, the people that are unemployed right now, that's huge. People that lost a lot of money in the market, that's huge. But I think we're going to rebuild. Everything's going to come back. We just have to take baby steps. It might not happen overnight, but it'll be a slow return. I'm confident. You have to be positive. You have to be positive. You have to be optimistic because there's no room for being pessimistic in this time and age. So be positive. Everything will be fine.
Be positive, and we can go by what's happening. There are facts, right? There are properties still selling. So
yeah. Plus rates, they're predicting, again, I read an article today in Bloomberg, they're predicting the rates will be under 3 in 2021. They're not increasing rates. So if anybody's looking to buy in the near future, go for it because rates are going to continue to stay low. Again, this is from Bloomberg, so I'm assuming it's a reliable source. I think we're in good shape. Plus it's an election year, so I think everything will continue on the up and up for now.
Yeah, our friends in the mortgage business are killing it right now because the
interest
is so low.
Yeah,
they're bombarded with refinances, and a lot of people are refining, which that's great. I mean, it's a great time to do that.
Take advantage of it. Why not?
Yeah, you might as well. So, I have a couple of quick questions.
Yes.
I was just thinking about, did you have a vacation plan that you had to cancel? Or
yes, we did. We actually had
this, or? We
had 2. We go every year for spring break. I like to travel. I mean, if you watch us on social media, like I'm because of our crazy schedule as realtors, things get nuts, and I need to have like a 3 or 4 days to decompress sometimes. And sometimes we go away for like these trips to New York for the night, even to Philly for the night. But we had a trip to go to for spring break with the kids to Aruba for the spring break, which we canceled obviously because there's no flying. And then we go every year to Florida for our my wife and I's anniversary, and on June 2nd, it would have been 12 years. Will be 12 years rather. And we were supposed to go to Miami. I actually canceled it today. I had to call the hotel and say obviously we're not making it. So yeah, we had a couple of trips that are canceled, but that's why I think everybody should travel and do the things they love to do as often as they can and not worry about putting it off to another day because look at the situation we're in right now. What's the purpose of putting things off and saying, I'll do it next month or next year or 6 months from now when you're right now stuck at home for the past 6 weeks? Enjoy yourself, enjoy life. You only live once. Obviously be smart. Don't do things crazily, but you have to take advantage of the opportunity, and if you have the means, go. Even if it's a night, go somewhere. Take your wife, take your family. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, we luckily.
You had anything planned too?
Well, we were planning to go away in August to Europe, but I think that's probably going to be on the back burner. I don't know that we'll be allowed to even travel there.
Yeah, probably Europe I would not sure go to Europe right now. I mean,
yeah,
I think they're opening up Aruba in June, like in three-tier system. That's like our go-to for the past 20 plus years with our family. But I don't know if I would go
I
there or internationally?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to do that, but I think we're gonna go up north to like either like Rhode Island, Maine, something like that. Maybe Martha's Vineyard. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something something like that. Last year we did we usually get a last week in August because it's pretty slow here in Philly.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of our clients take off, so I take off at that time. Um But last year we went to Hilton Head, which was nice. I never was there. My husband, we actually did a silent auction bid for at a charity auction, and he,
Wow.
you're there. I know you
Is
know
it?
about things, and you're like, yeah, that, 3 drinks in, you're like, oh, let's sign up for this thing. Let's sign up for that thing.
Yeah.
I get a call. It was for the suicide prevention gala. I get a call. She's like, yeah, you just got $2,600 worth or 22, whatever it was, $100 worth of stuff. I'm like, oh,
Oh
okay.
my God.
Can you tell me what we got?
Oh my
I
God.
don't know
Yeah.
what. So he bid on something. He bid on this house, and he's like, "Oh, good, then we're going." I'm like, "We drove down there, Joe."
Oh my God.
It was like I don't. Please, this is my longest car trip I've ever been on.
There's some beautiful places in the States that we've never been to. Like Hilton Head, we went to in '94 with my family, my parents, and my sister. But I've never been to like Martha's Vineyard. We were in Kennebunkport, we were in Florida. I'd never been like Midwest. I'd never been to like Texas. I've been to California, but there's so many places that I want to visit. So I think now, if this is going to be like, we're going to kind of try to stay nation, within the nation. I think we're going to start visiting more places in the States, which is great.
Yeah, we're staying stateside for sure at this point,
Yeah.
and I
So
hope.
maybe Hilton Head and Martha's Vineyard is a place to check it out. So I might take your advice on that.
Yeah, I've never been. My husband used to go. He used to go up to the Cape every year for 3 weeks in the summer. He grew up going there. His family is from up north, so he knows all about everything that's going up there. And who doesn't like lobster?
Lobster.
I love that.
We
It's
used to
like
go to
my favorite
Margate
seafood.
every summer, but lobster. We used to go to Margate every summer, but I think the beaches are closed now.
Yeah, they're closed right now, so hopefully
Yeah,
they
yeah.
soon.
Are they going to open them up? Did you hear anything about that? Like I heard, like they're going to open them up like in July. Maybe they're going to do some renting, but I heard the renting is going to be also nixed for the season.
Oh, I hope not. That would be really terrible for all the businesses down there. I mean, they get so
That's
much business from.
Well, that's what I was hearing, that there's going to be some sort of, unless you're, I think, renting for 6 months at least, you can't rent down there.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm hearing. So I'm not sure if that's the case or not. So we'll see.
It's so crazy. I just try to stay positive every day and focus on how we can do better today.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're doing is phenomenal. It's fabulous. This is the way we should do. We should help each other out. When next time we do our Boom Zoom, we're going to have our discussion. I'd love to have you to have the same discussion, because I think it's definitely a blessing to be able to just chat and talk about real estate and every day, and how people are dealing with the current situation, because everybody has a different spin on what's going on in the world. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it, and anything I can do to give back and help and give some
Well,
sort of advice.
if somebody wants to reach you, Joe, how do they reach you? Your email or your phone number?
Oh, they can call me, my cell phone, josephbograd.com. I'm on Facebook, as you know, and social media. So I'm easy to find, just like you are. So if anybody ever wants to, chat, talk real estate, talk life, talk traveling, I'm there. So, and if you ever want to chat or talk again, I'm always available too.
Actually, I can't wait to see you in person for.
Yeah, we should do. We should definitely have some sort of. We should do some sort of like a coffee once a week, just to kind of chat, because you do a lot of stuff in the city. I do a lot in Bucks. I'm doing some stuff in the city, obviously not as much as you, but whatever we can do to help each other out and do business together, that'd be great.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
I appreciate you. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Going on, but this was great. I think we got some good information that we're able to share with the community. So
definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure.
I'm happy to do anything that you need. So let me know about the videos.
I definitely will. Stay safe and be good, and say hello to everyone. And again, thank you for having me.
You too. My pleasure. See you
Take
soon.
care. Bye bye. See
Bye.
you. Bye bye.